right, so welcome to another episode of Between the Bookcases. It's my privilege today to have Sarah Freeman, one of our missionaries at ECPC. She's in Rwanda with the Rafiki Foundation. There you go. And so it's my privilege to do a quick interview with Sarah. She's headed back this Friday and has been here for a couple weeks, and we're just glad that we had a chance to engage with her. So Sarah, welcome. It's good to have you with me and to talk with you. So tell us real quick, give us the 1 minute, 10,000 foot synopsis of what you do in Rwanda.
All right. Well, like you said, I work with the Rafiki Foundation, and we, as an organization, we are in 10 different countries around Africa. And our main goal is focused on education and bringing Bible study into and good theology into the everyday classroom and the everyday lives of the African people. So in Rwanda, we used to have an orphanage, and then when they got rid of all the orphanages there, we became just a school, and we still board some of our previously lodging orphans there in Rwanda. So I work in the school as a music teacher, and whatever teacher, whenever there's a need.
Whatever they need.
I have taught language arts and history and other things. Yeah, so I'm like the resident, what is it called? Substitute teacher. Whenever there's a problem, I'm usually there.
That's actually, ministry life, by the way. That's just, so true. You're here, you get to do whatever needs to be done.
Right. So I teach.
And then you do something with your instrument. You do private lessons?
Yeah, I have been able to teach private lessons as well. And when school was on, I was teaching private lessons after all the classroom sessions of the day. So I would do that, and it was mostly for the senior students who were still there. They have a longer school day.
Is there one student that stands out that has God has used in your life, or used you in a unique way that you're rejoicing in?
Yeah, there's quite a few. One of the sweet things about being there and living on the campus is there are a lot of our boarding students, which were our previous orphans that are now just boarding there during the school term. They're all in their teen years, and let's just get honest, teen years are hard, and they've had a lot of things happening in their life, their entire life. It's sweet that they want to come to me, and they want to, and they really seek out. They're seeking out the wisdom from the Word, and that's humbling, because they come and they just want to sit in my house, and we go through the Scripture and we talk through. And it's been such a blessing. I actually read one of their sponsor reports, and there was one that had said how she had been working through some of her personal issues, and she used a verse that I had given her, and I was so touched by that, because it was so sweet to see that the Word does not return void, that progress is happening. You can only give the advice that I can give from the Word, and that was very special. So
but you don't know if the Spirit's using it until they repeat it in their own context. And when they do, it's like, oh wow, that's
it feels awesome. So good. Yeah, but so that's in that kind of arena.
So let's talk COVID. Everything's going great. All of a sudden, you get locked down. I mean, I remember your newsletter or your emails when you sent them on how Foundation, the whole place there got locked down. Yeah. Tell us what that lockdown was like. How did this interrupt your life in ministry?
Well, we were right in the middle of a school term. Well, we were finishing a school term, actually. So we had 2 weeks left, and suddenly this lockdown, there was one patient in Rwanda, and boom, everything was locked down. The churches closed. Wow. And they closed down the school, all the schools, and there's a lot of boarding schools in Rwanda. So we suddenly had to send out our kids. So 2 weeks left of school, we were kind of like, okay, and that's the end. Here's your report card. Wow. We put the report cards together and we sent them out. And I think, that at the time they were saying it was just going to be 2 weeks. And we thought, okay, 2 weeks, we'll have 1 week, and then we'll start school again. No. So the lockdown ended up being for a month, and That's a big deal in Rwanda. For us missionaries, it was kind of like, wow, this is a nice break. A break to get a lot of things done in the village.
I remember you telling
Yeah.
us in your note that
It's like
you're on lockdown, but now it's like, let's fix everything that's
exactly.
in
It was
the
project time.
foundation. Yeah, right.
Yeah, project time. So we were kind of going with the flow, and uh, I was painting the big gate, which hadn't been painted in like 5 years, and it looked terrible. And now it looks great, by the way. Come see it. As the lockdown started to release, and that was good because we were able to go and get some groceries, which previously some of our friends on the outside had gone to the market for us and brought them to the gate.
Okay.
So we weren't starving. So as the quarantine started to lift, we were starting to get some contact from some of our students, and we were finding out that a lot of them did not have enough food or none.
Wow.
And so those were our boarding students. So our previous orphans that we still have, we're allowed to take care of when they're with us. So we realized we needed to get some food out, and we thought, you know what? Why don't we just do this whole thing where we take the food out to them, but also send out packets to all of our students in the entire school so that they can at least be reviewing and not losing any of what they've learned in the first term. So we did that the first time around. We were taking food out, and it was really good because normally, we are always inside of the village, and then after the 10 weeks of school is finished, they go out for 3 weeks, and we don't really have much contact with them. So this time, we were getting to go out and see the families and be invited into their
Oh, good.
homes and being offered tea and being offered food. And it was really good to kind of make that contact, which I think
Sure.
personally for me, that's a really important part of ministry to me. So I was feeling really comfortable and really happy
Good.
with how this ministry was kind of starting to form. And so we got our school packets out. The ministry has become very outreach oriented, and
Mm.
that's a comfort zone for me. So
So COVID kind of forced the ministry to expand into the
yeah,
community in a
it
way that
did.
it didn't
Yeah,
exist.
because we already had day students, so the community was coming in. But this
Right.
time we were going out, and
That's
that
great.
felt really good to me. I loved
Yeah, that's
that.
good.
Yeah.
I don't want to skip over like
Yeah.
the big news that you shared with us Sunday during worship. So
I am planning a wedding. I met somebody from my church, and we have been
let me get
dating.
this straight. He is Rwandan,
He's Rwandan.
but he went to South Korea to study theology. He has a
Yes.
PhD in systematic theology,
Yes.
and he is now back in Rwanda
Yes.
teaching.
He teaches in the Africa College of Theology that African New Life Ministries has on their
Okay.
campus. He's the research coordinator there, and then he also is the children's ministry pastor, which is how we met.
Cool.
So,
And what's his
yes,
name?
his name is Sam, Dr. Sam,
Sam. Dr. Sam.
and
I like it. It's
Chimimukiza is
very
his last
formal.
name.
When I get my doctor of ministry, my wife has already told me she won't call me Dr. Locke or Dr. Tim. So,
He doesn't
oh
like to be
well.
called Dr. Sam, but I call him Dr. Sam.
So give us top 3 prayer requests as you head back this Friday.
Number one prayer request is I am still in great need of a car.
Okay.
Actually, in a deeper need of a car than I was in the beginning. Obviously, for me and Sam, as we continue to follow where the Lord leads and are trying to be very circumspect about
Yeah.
the way we're walking. Number 3 is that school will start soon. Yeah.
Well, Sarah, thank you so much for engaging with me. And we'll post this on Facebook and on our church website and YouTube and let people know. Where can they go to connect with you in your ministry? We're online.
Well, friend me on Facebook. That's the best way to do it. Facebook, Instagram.
Sarah, thank you so much. And we've enjoyed talking to you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
guys. Yeah, thanks for joining us for another episode of Between the Bookcases.